But first, new polls today said the Liberals are about to get smashed, but Conservatives cheer up. Because listening to Labor, you know, they form government. We're going to get a government that's going to raise your wages. It's going to stop global warming. There'll be no more bushfires, not least because Anthony Albanese will personally hold a hose and he'll even fly a helicopter over every roof the second there's a flood. And there's going to be money for everyone. The $1 trillion debt's going to just be wished away. China's going to be sweet, and there'll be not a single government minister who'll ever be a bad boy. How could you not vote for that? And I, for one, look forward to 3 years of watching Labor explain again and again how it's actually stuffed up, and to listening to the ABC pretend it hasn't. Fun times, guys. Yet a couple of things do still bother me. One, Labor could still need the votes of one of Simon Holmes à Court's so-called climate independents to form government, and checking on two of them last night, God help us. Two of these Simon Says independents, Nicolette, Boele and Kylea, Tink, they went to a fundraiser with lots of Chinese Australians and basically seemed to blame Australia for being bullied by communist China. The Boele was worse. She said there was fault on both sides, but, and I quote, "The government is unable and unwilling to pick up the phone to Beijing. And you can't talk about China unless you can talk to and with China." Tink, meanwhile, stood there happily as a translator next to her, told the Chinese Australian voters there, in English, "We want to change the government. We want to change the relationship between China and Australia. We need your vote." Now, this is scary. The government has wanted to make those calls to China. Former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull wanted to make those calls to China. It's China that's not picking up the phone. It's China that's bullied us and put us in the deep freeze. And our crimes? Well, among others, to defend human rights, to defend democracy in Hong Kong, to protest that China jailing 1 million Muslims, to say no to China building our telecommunications system, which would allow it to spy on us. So what exactly do these climate independents want us to surrender to China so that it will take our call? Do we give up our free speech, commitment to human rights, our security? They should say. Now, you might say, you know, don't worry about these climate independents, because isn't Labor telling us that it really would be just as tough on China when it wins the election? But then today I heard the Labor candidate in Bennelong, again, many Chinese Australian voters there, also blame Australia, not China, and say how wrong it was for our Defence Minister to warn that we must prepare for a war in our region.
They get yelled at on the street. And the people who live here in Bennelong, who are Australians of Chinese descent, are angry that Scott Morrison has mismanaged that relationship. It doesn't matter whether that people are hard or soft on China. It's not about that. It's about managing the relationship, and Scott Morrison has not managed it well.
Kimberley Kitching warned me just, 4 days before she died, the Labor senator. Don't believe Labor will be tough on China. But relax, relax. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, he's going to sort all that out. And that, I have to say, will be the real election miracle.